This week and next week, we'll be taking a look at the 2020 presidential election through a local lens. We start things off with the Luzerne County Republican Party this week, and next week we'll hear from Luzerne County Democratic Chair Kathy Baczynski. Here's Janine Lassant with part one of this series.
Joining me now is the Republican Chair for Luzerne County, Justin Behrens. Justin, thanks for joining us here on SSPTV News.
Thank you.
Quite a different election as we see with this pandemic. Are you seeing that there is more interest as people are impacted by the federal government more for the presidential election?
That's actually a really good question. We're seeing twofold here. We're seeing a lot more people engaged in politics because we're now finally seeing that what policy is done on an upper level is affecting the way people are operating in their homes. We're seeing a lot more people that are disgruntled, especially here in the state of Pennsylvania, with our governor trying to put mandates on there and telling us where and how to live, and people are getting frustrated with that. The uncertainty of lives and what's going on and what's the next day going to bring us. There's a lot more people engaged in politics. We're seeing a lot more people saying, hey, listen, I love the Republican values. I see what you guys are standing up for, and we'd love to support you guys and do what we can to be part of your team.
The traditional ways of doing most things in the world are now gone due to this pandemic. How do you see the pandemic affecting the election and how you actually are reaching out to people, how people are going to be voting and that sort of thing?
That's actually the biggest battle we have with this COVID virus. So your traditional was, you see the candidate who goes out there in parades, that's going out there meeting face-to-face, door-to-door, and that all has been put to a stop due to this COVID and keeping to the 6-foot distance. So what we have to do is we have to be a lot more savvy and a lot more creative. And so what we're doing is we're actually reaching out through social media is a real big outlet that we use. We also are shooting out with emails. And what's interesting enough is, and this is what the Republican Party is pushing, is the word of mouth. We have great candidates that are out there from the state level all the way up into the federal level. And we're trying to push people to say, hey, listen, these are who our candidates are. These are who they stand for. Spread it around to 4 people. And then we want those 4 people to spread it to 4 people. So we're using actually, if you think about it, the traditional ways back in the day when you spread a word of mouth. Yeah, we changed the way we're doing things, but what's great about the Republican Party is we're willing to adapt and overcome.
When you look at Luzerne County, it's very important to this election, especially for the Republican Party, as we look back at 2016 on the record as Luzerne County really helping Trump, presidential candidate, then the president now, of course, to win the election. How important is Hazleton and the surrounding areas for this election, and how are you reaching out to those voters?
It's the exact same thing as 2016. This is a pivotal county. Hazleton is a pivotal location. Let's talk about 2016. People came out there and said that Trump was not going to win. He wasn't going to it was going to be a landslide by Hillary Clinton, and Luzerne County was even a joke. Don't even consider Luzerne County winning Donald Trump. And without a doubt, we pulled it off, and we got it showing that northeastern Pennsylvania, including Hazleton and all the locations around us, support Donald Trump and his administration. Going on with that, we go future in, we're starting to see people now transferring their parties over from Democrat to Republican because the Democratic Party has left the people. They're no longer being represented by the Democratic Party, and we're starting to see an increase of registrations that are going into the Republican Party. Then just last year, people told me that no, Luzerne County Council is not going to become majority Republican. It's impossible. It's always been a majority Democrat. And lo and behold, the people spoke and they voted and they put in majority Republicans on Luzerne County Council. Now we come to 2020, and the president has asked us now, hey, Luzerne County, step up. This is what I need your help. And we're going to produce it. We are going to show it. The people in Hazleton, the people around Hazleton, West Hazleton, Cunningham, all around Drums, all around that area, they need to step up and show that, listen, the president has spoken. He has told what they was going to do 4 years ago, and he's done it this 4 years later. We need to get him back here. We need to get him reelected, and we need to show that the northeastern Pennsylvania values are standard by the president.
So that leads me to my last and final question is, how can people get involved? There is a headquarters in Hazleton. People ask if they want signs, they want to volunteer. How do they get in touch with you and talk about that Hazleton headquarters, please?
So here's the best part is because Luzerne County is such a pivotal county, We actually have 2 offices. We have one in Kingston and we have one in Hazleton. It's such a pivotal county that we also have 3 representatives from the Trump campaign that are actually located, 2 in Kingston, 1 in Hazleton. So we are showing that we know that the Luzerne County is needed. So if people want to come out and show their support for the Republican values and also showing support for any Republican candidate from the state all the way up to the federal government, they can stop by during the weekday from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock down at our local offices here in Hazleton and also in Kingston. They can pick up signs for the candidates that they need, but more importantly is they can come out and help support in this voting process, whether it's making phone calls or whether it's door knocking. So I appreciate all the work that we can do to hold Northeastern values to a higher standard.
Again, the election coming up quickly. I can't believe it's right around the corner.
Thanks, Janine. And remember, next week we'll have part 2 of this series when the chair of the Luzerne County Democratic Party, Kathy Baczynski, joins us.